Is here with another episode of the Casually Casual podcast. It is me, the Lion Darkness, with my good friend, always boring you,
Hello, everybody. We're Tonya here.
and Eliaster 720.
Good evening.
with this
Okay.
very with this very special episode, the Christmas
Three.
episode,
Post Christmas.
technically two, because it's complicated how I have mass in my head, but this is the Christmas special, everybody. Thank you for joining us if you're watching live. And if you're watching the archive version, we also like to thank you for watching. Hopefully we actually have something interesting to say. Nah.
Hopefully.
Because I think we do, to be honest. Because this is going to be basically our review of the Curse of Osiris and all the events, controversies, and other shenanigans that have happened throughout these last month. So let's get right to it.
Yeah.
This is how the format's gonna happen. We might timestamp it, we might not. I can't promise anything, to be honest. But this is the structure. We're going to talk about the story, and then we're gonna talk about some controversy. Then we're gonna talk about the experience, the new stuff, then more controversy, and then the dawning, and then finally more controversy. So let's get right ahead. In this episode, we are going to have some gameplay that's pre-recorded, so then we can actually focus on that instead of, trying to get good. So yeah, let's get to it. So let's talk about the story, guys.
I'm liking the
Oh.
music, though. Just want to say that.
Oh yeah. DJ 720 on the
the
dashboard
house.
there.
In the house.
Good.
It's my jam.
It's a Christmas special. It's a Christmas special. You might be watching this
Come
out of
once a year.
Christmas, but yeah.
Might be doing this out of Christmas. Unless you're in the West Coast. Still Christmas.
Hey. uh, all right, guys. So let's talk about the first thing. You guys all remember what happened during the live streams and everything, right?
Which one's ours?
No, no. Unfortunately, Bungie's live streams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, they were not too hot. We know all that controversy. We're gonna skip right over that and go straight to the story. So, I'm gonna let Always start off with that because I got a few things to say.
Oh,
So, Always, what do you think of the
Yes.
story? Take us through your experience in the story.
well. The story. Alright, I mean, honestly, I liked it. The whole premise was, I mean, the way it starts, I mean, I guess it's a little bit off, for me. But either way, I mean, I really liked the story. The ending did feel a little bit, I don't want to say empty, but, I don't know. It just felt weird, I guess. It didn't feel like other endings that we had for other, story campaigns, so.
Hmm.
I mean, overall, I liked it. I did. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. People might hate me for liking it, but I did like it.
From a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you like the story?
Overall,
Yeah, overall.
8.
Just the story. An 8? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say an 8.
Something you
Solid 8.
didn't like about it.
Like I said, the ending it just felt a little bit off. I don't know why, but just I can't. I mean, I don't know why or how, but for me, it felt a little bit off. You know, it felt different. I mean, it could be a good difference still, but I don't know.
Maybe it didn't
Exact-
feel necessarily chronological. It didn't
Yeah.
feel like this was the next step. This was like something that just randomly happened right now.
Yeah, just exactly. It's just we just happened to. Oh wait, we have to do this now. We gotta go now. We didn't really work our way to that.
Right.
per se.
Yeah,
But
definitely. Um,
yeah,
but an 8 you gave it. Okay. What about you,
yeah.
Iliaster?
Me personally, I loved it. This is like completely my opinion. The story, I felt like maybe it was a little bit short. Like they started off good at a good pace, and then it felt like more fast paced, like getting to the end. But overall, the whole story was great. I loved it. All the mechanics, everything, it was just great for me.
Really?
Absolutely. I mean, I go in with the mentality of I know exactly what I'm going in for. With all the advertisement, the trailers, the podcasts, that the live streams, sorry, that Bungie had. I They explained everything. Maybe they didn't spoil a lot, but I know exactly what I'm going in for. You know, um, and I never try to set expectations. Instead, I just go with the flow, you know. And again, that's the best way I enjoy this game, and it was great. I mean, the experience was there. Yes, again, I stay with what I said at the beginning. It was starting to be a good pace, but then towards the end, it felt a little bit more rushed. But the mechanics of the game, the story, the cinematics, everything to me was perfect. I do agree with always um, about the whole. It felt a little off because even though the Red Legion was there, even though the Almighty was there in the skybox, it still felt like this wasn't the next thing to happen. At least not appropriately. Like it didn't feel like, again, once they explained everything, oh, you know, the awakening of the traveler did something in Mercury, you know, and now this happened. I guess it makes sense. It
Well,
absolutely makes sense.
I,
But it doesn't feel like it was the next thing to happen. That's how
right.
I feel.
Well, I mean, I get the gist of the story and everything, but I just feel like they do a really bad job of communicating that, and I probably wouldn't even mind it that much, to be honest, if we still had the Grimoire. You know, at this point, Bungie should have been like, okay, we're bringing back the Grimoire, and then we could have known, okay, it was on purpose this time. But the fact that they removed that, the fact that it felt really, I wouldn't say rushed, to be honest. I would say more just like felt very disconnected from the main story, even though they said it's supposed to be connected right away. It really felt disconnected, like Rise of Iron, honestly. I mean, let's be honest, Rise of Iron, as good as an expansion it was from the live team, it felt a little disconnected from the whole story. Like House of Wolves. You know, I mean, Destiny is known for that, but they clearly said they were not gonna do that anymore. They were gonna try to keep the expansions connected. But it just feels
Yeah.
like random stories. Honestly,
Again. I understand that, and that's basically also my perspective. But once I play through the campaign, once they explain what they have to explain in the campaign, I had no problem with it, including going back to Mercury, you know, and going like, well, this is a shorter, you know, public space, you know, that I'm used to. But it makes sense. A great portion of Mercury was destroyed thanks to the Almighty. So again, there's a lot of stuff that if you just look at it from afar, you go like, yeah, that doesn't seem right. But the more you dive into it, like if you pay attention to the cutscenes, you pay attention to the story, the little dialogue, everything, it just falls into place. That's why um, I had a good time playing it because I wasn't just like going in there, going through the campaign, and that's it. Then doing the public events and all that other stuff. No, I paid attention to everything. And once you get a feel of everything, you understand the message they're trying to deliver. I do agree that with the Grimoire would have been a lot better because you could read like just like the Book of Sorrows and the Taken King. The Book of Sorrows explained a lot of stuff that pretty much they couldn't do in a campaign.
Campaign, yeah.
But still, even with all that, I felt pretty satisfied with Curse of Osiris. Now, that I would have liked to see, definitely. Was this perfect? Not really, but again, I enjoy it for what it
All
was,
right. So
and I had a great time playing it.
from a 1 to 10, what would you give this? Because arbitrary numbers are fun.
I would give it a 8, an 8.
An 8.
Yeah,
Okay, so
8
it's an 8.
overall. You know, so
Okay.
far.
Well, now from my side of the,
So far.
I
that's what I'm
honest,
saying.
Of course, here we go, the pessimist.
That's what I'm saying so far.
I honestly think it was pretty bad, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, some of the mechanics were okay. The voice acting was good. Osiris, I just don't think they did justice to Osiris, to be honest. All the hype and mystery that Osiris had. You know, they just acted like it just didn't deliver. It didn't deliver for the character that Osiris was portrayed to be. You know, he really didn't even do much of anything. And you know, as much as I understand it, how it's connected and everything, Panopti still felt like, oh, it's just another Rex that's trying to perfect their vision or whatever. It felt so what's the word I'm looking for? It's so disconnected from everything else. Even though Panopti's he was able to do whatever he was able to do because the Traveler woke. You know, the Traveler got woke or whatever. But it was still. It just didn't feel good. It felt like Rise of Iron to me.
Okay.
But
Well,
Rise of
you see,
Iron had a lot
that
more.
statement right there. That statement right there. It felt like the Iron. I don't get it. Explain.
Okay, well, as okay as Rise of Iron story was, what did we? The Iron Lords were, you know, they were like these super, the Guardians before Guardians and true heroes and whatever, and all we get to see is Lord Saladin in one cutscene, and then it's us doing all the work, which I understand it's part of the power fantasy and everything, but it just doesn't do justice to those characters. I honestly would prefer them to have stayed in the Grimoire or inside a lore text or whatever, than being, to be honest, you know, not giving justice how they should be portrayed as legendary characters in the Destiny universe.
Well,
That's pretty
the
much.
thing. This is the thing. This is not an origin story. The Rise of Iron wasn't an origin story of the Iron Lords. It was a
Yeah.
chapter. If anything, the closing chapter to the Iron Lords and the beginning chapter to the new Iron Lords.
No, I
Which
understand.
I'll agree with everybody. You know, in Destiny 2, it seemed like everything got forgotten, but that's not the point. In this Osiris expansion, this is not Osiris's origin. This is, hey, because of the Traveler Awakening,
No.
we got to see Osiris.
Well, what I'm saying is this is, but it's a big introduction to Osiris in the Destiny games.
Exactly, but it's not introducing its path. It's just introducing the character.
I think they
it's
really.
just like, you know, it's like meeting someone, a celebrity. You meet him for a little bit. Like, for example, I don't know much celebrity. Well, I do, but I don't want to mention anybody here. But it's like meeting
Thank
a
you.
celebrity. You're in the mall. They're doing signings. You meet them, you know, and they're not gonna disclose everything. They're not gonna give you a tour of their tour bus or whatever, you know. No, you're gonna do what in that moment needs to be done. What happened with
Okay.
Panoptes and everything, it was Osiris was trying to stop it from achieving a certain goal, and we were there to help. That's what I got from the story.
I guess I understand that. Another thing I have a little bit of a problem with it, to be honest. Oh god, I lost my train of thought. I'm so dumb. Uh, but another thing I'm not okay with, to be honest, is the fact that
Yay for the Christmas music. 3.
I'm glad you like the Christmas. I lost my train of thought, to be honest. But
Too much information right there. I just blew
no,
your mind.
I think you're onto something, to be honest. But I just think they could have done it in a better way. Like, I mean, when they introduced Oryx as the new bad guy, you know, I know that was a bigger expansion, but even Crota had a pretty good introduction.
With that, I completely agree with you. When we saw Oryx, it wasn't Oryx's origin story. He came to settle score. But in the grimoire, they explain who Oryx was. They explain where he came from.
And I
They
think, yeah,
explain
honestly,
the hierarchy and the.
I think
and
I
the
think a lot of my
protagonist.
gripe with it is the fact that there's no grimoire for me to look at. To be honest.
Exactly. With that, I do agree. If we want in-depth information, we need grimoire. We need somewhere where we can deposit that information and we can withdraw that information.
Another thing is that the fact that they went like it's like a teacher-student kind of story, which we never really knew about at all, like anywhere at all. I know it's supposed to be Destiny. Destiny 2 is like the real Destiny, and Destiny 1 was, issue 0, the pilot episode of Destiny or whatever. I understand that's what they're going for, but the fact that we never knew about Ikora and Osiris, and that's the story that we're supposed to be like
I wouldn't
interested
go too
in.
far. I wouldn't go too far because I'm not a grimoire
No, we knew.
scholar. I'm not a scholar with the grimoire, but you know, I'm pretty sure if you look up, you know, something, maybe you'll find some links. I'm not saying
No,
there
that's
is.
what I already
I'm
looked
just
up.
saying that we shouldn't speak to quotes.
I looked at this stuff, and it never mentions anything that even Ikora was in the same time period as Osiris. And now it
No,
turns out that it was
I
a
do
student.
believe that
Yep.
I have before that they were. I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
They might have been one of,
or
but
where,
nothing
yeah.
about this, like this, teacher-student thing. But we did have though a pretty powerful story. And this YouTuber Darkside Royalty kind of explained it. Was the fact that we had about the same story, but instead of Ikora, we had it with Saint 14, or it could have been with Osiris dealing with the Speaker's loss and him becoming the new. There was a lot of things that could have worked better with. To go and to make it more emotional, and I think that was a kind of a wasted opportunity, to be honest. By adding the Ikora and Osiris relationship thing, which I guess at the end it actually kind of worked, to be honest. Wasn't too bad, but I think there was more potential there. But the story for me, mechanic wise though. It was pretty bad. Like, I know I'm gonna sound, but the Infinite Forest was like a walking simulator. I tested it to see how engaging the whole campaign would be. Excuse me.
You good there?
Too
You
many.
good there?
How engaging
You
the
right
campaign
there,
would be.
buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine,
It
but
was a good Christmas. It was a good Christmas.
how engaging it would
Cheers.
be,
I'll drink
but.
to that again. Cheers.
But I literally ran through the whole story without
Running is
engaging
fun.
any specific boss. Like when there was like a mini boss to engage, you had to fight him. But I ran through everything. Do you know how unengaging that felt? For me, the campaign was definitely a 6 out of 10. In arbitrary numbers, 6 out of 10.
With
Because
with that in particular, including talking about the Infinite Forest, when I was watching the Bungie live streams, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the on the podcast that we had about the live stream, that I knew in the way they showed it was the Infinite Forest. You know that it's basically a bridge. That
Yeah.
bridge, once you cross the bridge, then you enter the mission. I went in with
Yeah.
that mentality, and again, I see.
well, you see, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. It just feels like a glorified bridge, and I
It is.
wasn't.
It's the bridge to get from point A.
But
to
they were
point
hyping
B,
it up
and
like that was gonna be like the content we needed. They really hyped it up like that. If they wouldn't have hyped it up, you see, a lot of the things that went wrong with the whole release of Curse of Osiris was the fact they were hyping some things they were not really supposed to be hyping up, and it really backfired on them. I feel like that's what really happened there. But that's a different topic for another story for another day, I guess.
The hype.
Yeah, the hype.
yeah, but about the Infinite Forest and the bridge. When I went in there, I enjoyed it because it's cool how all this is procedurally generated, in a way, and it was cool. But I get what you said because there are certain parts if you don't have to engage someone, all I had to do
can
was get
skip.
on the highest platforms.
Well, you see, it's not
of
certain
the-
parts. It's most of it. Like I literally 90% of
No,
it.
I mean like the ones that don't have you engaged.
It's like 90% of
Well,
the bridge that you have to
yeah, I
engage.
think the only ones are the ones that had like a certain
Like the daemons.
enemy that was locked or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only ones you had to kill.
And
You
even
could
in the
avoid every single other enemy.
yeah. And even in the when you enter the actual mission, you could actually still skip around 60% of the fights, if not more, to be honest. And there was a lot of talking just to walk around. Like I actually felt like it was a walking simulator at one point. I'm like, okay, so I'm just gonna walk around in a circle in a ring, so then Segura could give me could give me some more exposition. Which I'm not against exposition or anything. Because actually, the more information you give me, the more I can enjoy the story. But you know, don't make me run around in circles. Even I've been running around in a straight line. Now you're gonna make me run in circles. You know. That's how it felt to me, especially when I did on my video. You know, when I did the video.
Right.
You guys want to check that out on? It's probably somewhere under this podcast when it's over. I appreciate it. But it felt really short. Really.
It did feel like a missed opportunity. They should have made the Infinite Forest part of the open area, the public area, so then people could
Yes.
explore. Maybe have some, public events happening in the future or in
On
the
the
past.
yeah,
or-
on the Infinite Force, of course.
Exactly. The Infinite Forest basically is just there for the adventures. That's it. Now, again, I feel like that was a missed opportunity to utilize all that space. It would have been great to explore it at your own leisure. It would have been great to, discover things, maybe put little Easter eggs there. Again, we only see the Infinite Forest if we're doing the adventure. And they added the heroic adventures, which I'm a pretty reckless player. And I go in there and I go like, I'm a guardian, I'm gonna beat all these guys. And I got demolished the first time. So I had to think a little bit more strategically. Now, I do understand when Yu-Gi-Oh said, you do.
Come in line,
You can
please.
skip most of it, You can
Oh,
skip
so
most of it,
digital,
not
okay.
engaging.
And, all right, well,
but-
I think we spend a little too much time here, so let's move on to the next one. To some other.
That's okay. Let's skip.
To some of the other controversies. Like during that time where the Curse of Osiris released, there was this big controversy of the XP gain. You know how they basically nerfing your XP gains.
Live in darkness.
Thank you. Yes, Landar.
Okay, I'm
LOL.
sorry.
I personally don't find it as such a big deal. I mean, I understand they go, oh, it's because they want to sell you loot boxes, but I've seen so many games where the more you try to farm a certain spot, the lower you actually gain from that. So then you engage on different things. So I personally don't even have a problem with that, but I could understand why some people will be mad because it is tied to the loot boxes, and this has been the year of the loot box. Let's be real. But what do you guys think of that and some other stuff then that's been going on with that, with the loot boxes in particular? Let's talk about loot boxes.
Okay.
Loot boxes. Loot boxes. I
I like
personally.
the the one that's a crate that they sell, but I can't say that
Oh,
one
yeah.
because we're not sponsored. Unfortunately.
Not sponsored by Loot
Anyways,
Crate.
back.
Hey,
back-
Loot Crate, you know.
There you go. Like, hey, he said it, not me.
Hey, Loot Crate, baby. We want to get ahead in this YouTube game, you know what I mean? Okay.
Jumbo was still cold, cheat, get us on the cheat.
No, but what do you think of it?
Well, with the whole microtransaction uproar, I see it being more of a problem. Not personally, but I see it being a problem for mostly everyone. Again, as soon as this microtransaction uproar, any little thing would automatically be targeted and go like, hey, that thing that just happened, this kind of looks like it, and that too, can we all take care of it in one shot? That's how I feel this is. Ever since the beginning, I never had a problem with Eververse. I knew that if I didn't wanted anything from Eververse, I just wasn't gonna spend money. Again, this is the problem because you have kids playing this game, and this was the whole controversy, apart from pay to win and whatnot. But that I agree. Kids shouldn't be subject to or exposed to gambling, because it's bad.
or even like gambling things. But one thing that came out
Exactly.
recently is that the fact that there's more items they've been developed for Eververse than they have for the main game since the game release. How does that make you feel?
Well, again, I mean, in Destiny 1, when did Eververse got introduced?
I think a little bit after
Um,
Taken King was.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, a little bit after the second king, if I'm not mistaken.
It was in that April update, right?
Yes. I
Yeah.
think so.
I can't remember really well. But yeah, I mean, we had about two expansions, without Eververse, without microtransactions, So with Destiny 2 being a fresh release, it feels like there's a lot, but just with the April update, they released a bunch of that with the chroma,
Dance to the
with
Christmas
the
music. Just
armor
saying.
set from Eververse. And
Oh, no
whatnot.
problem. Glad
Then
you're
with
enjoying the
Rise of
Christmas
Iron-
music. Sorry, internet of Joe, but we got somebody in the chat. They say they enjoy the Christmas music. No problem. We do it for you.
Hey. So again, uh, then when we had the Rise of Iron, again, a bunch of microtransactions were, a bunch of items were made for Eververse, and then finally with the Age of Triumph, more
Dance.
stuff for Eververse. So it feels like they're overwhelming right now, just because they're right out the bat.
Well, it's I
First
think.
Destiny, a bunch of Eververse. Then
But
the next
but but do
a
you
bunch of Eververse.
but do you think it's right that there's more Eververse items as they are things you can collect in the world of Destiny?
It depends on how you hold that to value, personally. I hold my raid gear more valuable, my raid weapons more valuable, stuff that I earn like the exotics more valuable, including my blue armor. Like blue armor that I'm trying to make it drop to 300 or something, I wear it because it looks good. I hold that to more value than anything that Eververse can give me. Eververse is mostly just a little bit of, hey guys, look what I got. Ooh, you know. That's why I never saw a problem with it, because it was not something that I was actively seeking. It was something that was, hey, it's there. Do you want
there.
it? I think the Dex Missile class is more important than whatever you're giving me.
I guess I can understand that, but I mean, you remember the
No,
good old days
not-
when
not
we used to
everybody.
chase for the raid ships instead of hoping to get lucky to get an
Exactly,
Eververse.
exactly. So with that, I do agree with. Not everybody thinks the same way. That's just me right now.
What do you think of how they handle it though? Because I seen a lot of people are mentioning the fact that ever since all this stuff has been going on, Bungie, honestly, I don't think they give them enough. I mean, I understand why they're not giving them any slack, but I think they've been trying to do their damn best to try and apologize for all this crap. Like, I honestly think they're starting to handle it pretty well. And I know we've been through this before for like 3 years, but I honestly think like we should give them some slack a little bit at this point. I know that's going to be a very unpopular opinion, but that's my take on that. What do you think, always?
I don't know. When Eververse first came out, Destiny 1, how many opportunities did you had, on the everyday week without spending any money, to get any, items from Eververse? There wasn't really any opportunities, except for like, what, 1 engram, I think, from, the
Sterling Treasure in the April
Sterling
update.
Treasure, exactly. To get the Sterling Treasure from the weekly playlist, or so you get 1, and that's it. Maybe 2 tops the whole week, right?
Yeah.
Now, on Destiny 2, every time you level up, you get a chance of getting something. Yeah, the RNG sucks on it, but if you're grinding, you're more likely to get something than, you were in Destiny 1. like 100% more likely. You know, I know the 100% is made up number, but but on a week on Destiny 1 you were able to get what, two Sterling treasures or something,
I think like 3 per week or something. Yeah.
or three. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one for
here,
doing the nightfall, then one they give you just for the daily story mission, I think.
yeah, I think so. The heroic
By the
mission, I
way, I
think.
won those back in Destiny 2, just saying.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
everybody look to play the stories. But you know, if you grind the whole week, strikes, nightfalls,
Well, you see
Rain
raids,
is
when you put it
always left.
once you level up, you can end up the week with
well when you put
what,
it like that,
10,
but you got to
20
remember
engrams.
they were nerfing that before people noticed. They were nerfing that to make sure you
Yeah, I
didn't get as
totally
many.
agree. But not to do public events all day and level up like 3 levels or 4 levels. So they wanted they
You gotta
wanted
understand
people
also
to be
that
more engaging through other stuff.
mm, you you also gotta understand that I feel like why they decided to tone down the XP and not let anybody know it's shady. We all know that's shady. There's no way around it. They had to apologize for that. They had to fix it. Um, but I get the feeling because again, like always just mentioned, at first it was you only got three. I think it was three max a day. That's it. You know, or but that's I think that was with Age of Triumph. I think it was only two at the beginning. But regardless, you had a set limit to earn, and that's it. So they kind of like managed their how many are they buying, how many are they earning, and we can make sure we can balance that because again, it's about money, okay? Um, but with this Destiny 2, you could earn an unlimited amount of something that somebody is already paying and they kind of want you to buy. So they go like, these guys are earning probably way more than they're actually buying. So let's nerf it. Again, it's wrong. It's wrong. And I'm glad they address it. But overall, I think that Eververse is at least the best loot system we have of all these microtransactions on every other game. Again, Call of Duty, I think we have to thank Call of Duty for this huge mess. But overall, again, you get to earn as many as you want as long as you're willing to invest the time in playing.
Yes.
So I think it's a bit of a balance there. What
Alright.
would happen if Eververse would go away right now?
So
I
let's
wouldn't
move on
have a
to the
problem.
next topic real quick. But before we end it, let's from a casual perspective, we play really casually. That's why we're casual podcast. But from your perspective, how much does Eververse, from a scale of 1 to 10, arbitrary numbers, does it bother you? Always.
10 being it really pisses me off.
Yeah.
2, honestly, 3.
Around a 3, like, eh. Okay. You,
I mean, it doesn't
Eliaster?
really bother me. If I were to get better RNG, it wouldn't really bother me at all.
But buy this,
But-
from Eververse for 20 silver, get better RNG. I will have a fucking problem with that.
But,
Yes,
okay,
it
so how much does it bother you, Eliaster,
From a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
2.
2, okay. Now, for me, a person who has been against loot boxes for a very long time now, and I do not like the system. When they introduced the Eververse for the first time, I was not really happy about it, even though I understand why. But I haven't spent a dime, and I have gotten most everything, and I play casually. Destiny, we all play.
Casual.
But I haven't played.
Casual podcast.
But from a guy who hasn't spent a single dime on silver at all, I would have to say also it bothers me. It bothers me only a 5, and it's half and half because I'm conflicted because I know I should be 100% against loot boxes, But in Destiny, it just doesn't.
I have standards, you know.
Yeah, it's just like, man. I mean, I got mostly everything. I mean, the blue boxes shouldn't be there in the first place, to be honest. But I had gotten everything.
I agree.
They shouldn't be there in the first place. But the fact that I gotten everything without spending a single dime and playing as much as, you know, it's not. I guess as little as I play, it's not that bad. But anyway, let's move on to all the stuff they added to all the guns, all the reskins, and let's talk about Masterworks. Ooh. Masterworks and the new maps. So let's first talk about the maps. What do you guys think about the new PvP maps, though? Real quick.
I like them. Yeah, I'm a casual player.
Did they feel different enough?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, not have much perspective, you know, on map design or anything like that, but yeah, they just feel different. You know, the I don't know the name of the map.
Do you have a new favorite map, Ian?
New favorite map? Nah, I wouldn't say that.
I like the one in Titan, just because it was like when I first played on that map, I was lost. I kept dying. People kept sneaking up behind me. I had no idea where I was or where was I supposed to be going. But after a while, I kind of like got the layout. I knew where everything was, and it was great. I mean, that's my favorite map. I don't know the name of the map. I know it's the one in Titan, but that's about it. But I love that map. It's pretty cool, and it does feel different enough to make it feel like a brand new map.
To be honest, I was gonna say the same thing. The Titan map one feels the most unique, to be honest. Maybe because it's in a new location, but definitely so far my favorite map in all of Destiny 2, because it has it feels like a D1 map, to be honest. You know, it has more than 3 lanes. Well, it feels like that. It has only 3 lanes, but it feels like it has more lanes than that.
Exactly,
and not in
just because of all the doors and corridors, you know, they connect everything.
It feels like a real place in the Destiny world, not like some of the other maps. They feel like, oh, so this is supposed to be like a Overwatch map, you know, that's supposed to be nice and even and fair. I really like the randomness of all the old maps, how even some of them were kind of uneven, and God knows Trials was really bad for that. Because sometimes, you know, oh, I spawned it in the bad side, but I like that, you know. There was the maps felt like they were part of the world. It didn't feel like, oh, it's a PvP map, you know. I'm supposed to just kill people here, you know. I felt like, oh, I'm fighting in the world of Destiny, and the Titan map really brought that back to me again, which I liked. I liked that a lot. What do you guys think of Masterworks, though?
It's a grind. It's a grind. Not designed for the casuals.
I agree.
Obviously. I mean, I have gotten a couple of them, but you know, not many that I liked. Actually, as a matter of fact, I haven't really gotten anyone that I really liked. I had to dismantle all of them just to get my
to get your stuff.
But
Jesus has been very kind to me. And I have gotten a lot of Masterwork, especially after my loot box, after my loot opening video. But I had so many Masterworks. I want to say something. It's a good step forward. I know everybody has said that. It's a good step forward, but it needs more. The Masterworks, if it wasn't for the orbs generating on multi-kills, I really wouldn't even feel like they're Masterworks, because the increase to the stats is so, you know, it's so unnoticeable that I'm just like, oh, I didn't even knew where I was supposed to check what stability, how did my better devils change from the other one, and until I saw, oh, it just gained another bullet, one more bullet. I'm like, okay.
Hey,
thanks.
That bullet makes a difference.
But I think, you know, if they increase maybe by 3 bullets, 2 bullets on a hand cannon, maybe another 5 rounds on a auto rifle. And another thing about that, the fact that Bungie released all the roles, all the stats that could be changed with Masterworks, show that auto rifles can roll with more stability, hand cannons can roll with more range. You know, SMGs can roll with more stability, I think, as well, or something like that. It just mean like, why, Bungie? We're supposed to try to make these better versions of our weapons. You know, why are you limiting us? You know exactly what people are gonna want, but why must you be like this? But it's definitely a good step in the right direction. I hope they add more. I hope when they add the armor masterwork, it'll look pretty good, and it'll be a little more noticeable to our gameplay experience. Just besides making an extra orb every time you get a double kill,
Tiny orb.
which is nice though. It isn't. You know, you get another super in PVE at least. You know, you get another super or two from all the ads if you're double killing them a lot, which I like. What do you got? What do you guys? Let's move on to the. What else did they add besides Masterworks? Oh no! Oh yeah, let's okay. Go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to finish, you know, so then I could talk about my mid-lay-45.
All right.
Auto
Drop,
rifle.
drop the knowledge.
Masterwork.
Drop the knowledge.
Not much knowledge, just info, I guess. It's to me like I had a mid-lay-45, a normal one. It's like a laser beam. You know, it just had so much stability but not a lot of range. It has decent range, like in itself, the non-masterwork.
Okay.
But I got a masterwork one, and I got it with +5 range, and I can tell you that +5 range makes a difference on the weapon. With that stability and that +5 range, I don't know, it feels like I'm getting more kills with this than my other mid-lay-45. Not sure if I'm pronouncing it right.
Probably not. Bungie.
Okay.
You
So
know how they like to switch out around names? 3
So,
years.
you know, with this one, I only got 2 masterwork. One was a pulse rifle. I just meant to immediately, didn't even care. But this one, you know, I'm keeping this one because I don't know. I really do feel the difference. Are all the weapons like that? Again, I only got 2
MOG Christmas
masterwork so
tree.
far, so definitely, like always said, it's a grind. It really is a grind.
what about the balance changes to the gameplay?
I like
And
that you can use hand cannons now.
Right? Actually, I think that's the most noticeable change besides the pulse grenade nerf. But one thing I'm not okay with, because I'm not okay with anything apparently. But
Yeah, you think, bro.
one thing that bothers me about how they just blanket nerfed slash buffed slash changed all the weapons is the fact that we're supposed to have static rolls, like no more RNG rolls. So then they could address one weapon at a time. You know, they say, oh, if Euro's gift is too OP, we'll just address Euro's gift because, you know, it has a static roll. And they didn't do that. They did a blanket change to, again. So what was the point of the non-RNG rolls? You know? Like, Bungie, weren't you supposed to be like, nah, fam? I'm kind of...
I guess I understand what you're saying. Jeez, that whole. I guess it's only when something's like really, really bad they can hit it, you know. But when something is not like that bad, just you know, hey, it's a little bit better than the other one. Let's just do an overall because again, hand cannons needed love because nobody was playing with hand cannons. It was auto rifle, and then Mida multi-kill.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, they shut me down. God damn it. Oh, God.
But again,
I was like, one more kill.
I told
I didn't
myself
find
this.
kills.
Oh,
Hold on. I think this video
I
clip
think they made.
had me talking. And it was really loud.
Dang. Rip.
Well,
You were saying?
oh, technical difficulties. Please stand by.
But again, I think that when they see that a general group of
Oh, you fucking...
weapons, it's not being utilized. utilized better, you know,
I might have to
I
skip
think
this one.
they dress them in a blanket like that.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and skip this one.
Yeah.
Keep talking, Joe. You can just keep
Yeah.
going.
Well, now I want in. What's going on? What happened?
His video has audio, so you can hear what he's saying. You know, the
Yeah, how
rage,
salty I
the
am.
casual rage. Are you effing kidding me?
Ah, jeez. This is
All right.
when you don't.
There goes the family setting.
What do you guys think of the dawning, though? That's the final stuff we gotta talk about. The dawning. What do you guys think of the dawning?
I love the hockey.
You love the. You love the hockey arena. Oh my god, this fucking.
Yeah.
What about you?
One thing that I want to mention, and I think Bungie gets a lot of thumbs up for that, is their music. And I gotta tell you, I love the dawning. I mean, when I'm just there, I was recording for loot opening video, and I was just, my character was just standing there in the tower, and man, when that music came up, oh my god, I don't know, it's great, it's great. The dawning itself, the content, and all that other stuff. I love the snowball fights. That's gonna be like my favorite. I was recording, and I had the specific spot where I was standing, and every time, as soon as I wanted to start recording,
Bam.
these guardians would come and pick up a snowball, and I went like, all right, pick up your snowball, go away, move on. Nah, and they threw it at me, and I went like, oh, it's on, and I grab a snowball, and we start having snowball fights, and again, it's great, it's great. I had one hockey match with Ender Cat Queen, and I rage quit. She was cheating. I couldn't even get one in. I'm like, are you kidding? I didn't know how it worked. I went like, you know what, Ender, I am crippled. I'm not doing this anymore, and I just left.
Fight words.
But apart from that, again, I just love the dawning, including all the other shenanigans they added.
What do you think
like
of?
that, you know, you can throw the snowballs on the strikes and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
I still got a little problem with how they got all the snow in all those places, but.
Do you think it justifies all the Eververse items again? What do you guys think? Yeah, what do you think that people are calling it instead of the dawning, they call it the costing?
The costing thing.
Do you really?
I don't think it justifies like all the stuff they added. I think it is what it is. I really think Bungie should have focused more on giving stuff, like earning stuff through doing the heroics or other stuff, you know, instead of just putting it all mostly into Eververse. Again, if I'm not interested, I'm not gonna buy it. But again, it is kind of like enticing you. Look at all the stuff we added to Eververse. Buy it, and I'm like, well, you know, I'm not really gonna buy it. But for other people, they go like, hey, you know, I actually wanted that stuff. Why do you put it in Eververse? See, and that's when it becomes a problem. And I completely understand. And I really, it didn't turn into a Festival of the Lost, you know, back in the.
Festival of the Cost? Yeah.
Festival of the Cost, you know. That one was bad. That one was bad, you know.
Yeah.
But this one, it still gives you stuff like the whole gift schematics, you know, that you get daily and all that. Again, you know, but yeah, I definitely do understand. Yeah, I do understand when people say, you know, look at all the stuff they added specifically to Eververse. Again, I'm not actively looking for Eververse stuff. If I get like a couple bright ingredients, you know, from
Santa Claus.
doing strikes, patrols, and whatnot, I collect a little, go and open them. If I get something, great. If I don't, I'm not actively looking for it, unless I am. But overall, you know, yeah, I think it's something that Bungie needs to address, but it's not a problem with me. But it is a problem for the community, you know. Not everybody's gonna be like, oh, I'm not interested in that. No, obviously they're making it, so then you're interested in it, and you go and buy it. And again, it's a business model, but again, it's just shady. What they're doing. They're actively going like, hey, you like that armor? Yeah, you cover
I
the
got it right
the
here.
dough. Exactly, and that does seem wrong.
Honestly, if Eververse wasn't there, I would be really really liking the Dawning. I had for some reason I had a lot of fun doing that hockey game with always earlier. It was fun.
Unfortunately, I don't want to say that we spent an hour there, but
We spent more than we
yeah, we
should
spent
have,
an hour.
and it was fun. Now Mayhem, I know it's a returning game mode from D1, but first people say we want more D1, and then when they bring back D1 stuff, they're like, oh, you brought D1, you lazy fuckers or whatever. But uh, I had so much fun playing Mayhem. The Dawning feels really good. I love the atmosphere, to be honest. The whole Christmas feel to it. It was good. But this has been going on for. I feel like with the last tweet from the director of House of Wolves, aka Mr. I'm in charge of the live team, which I have complete faith in the live team. They haven't failed me, except maybe a little bit with the costing. I mean, with the Festival of the Cost, but that was like their prototype basically. But beyond that, they made Age of Triumph, and I was really happy with Age of Triumph. They put together Rise of Iron when the whole main team was working on D2. I trust the live team. And the director, he posted a bunch of stuff that he wants to work on after they get back from holiday, and I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully they'll address a lot of the Eververse problems, which I think is really holding Destiny back.
Yeah, I mean, again, if they get rid of Eververse, I don't have a problem. Like you said, if anything, it'll be better. But, overall, I think they should focus more on the in-game. Not like in-game Eververse, but I mean like in-game, the game you gave us, the game we bought. Focus more on that than just Eververse.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered something real quick. You guys remember that one weekend with Prometheus Lens?
Yes.
That was amazing.
Laser tag.
Yeah.
Laser tag weekend.
That was awesome on Bungie's part, to be honest. The one they made Slur sell it. I think that's the way you handle all your controversy. To be honest.
Is that what you're talking about, the Nova Palm?
Yeah, I'm gonna get there. Get there. Oh, I have something to say. But let's go to the last thing I want to point out before we wrap things up. The fact that the next Iron Banner is gonna be in January, and the next faction rally, they're gonna have a bunch of Sparrows, Ghosts, and ships outside of Eververse. It's a great first step to, getting the people's trust back, because that's the most important thing they need to focus on right now, to be honest. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like the reason why they decided to start, selling all that stuff in Eververse, like ships and Sparrows and all that, it's because I feel like they felt like, hey, maybe that's not really something we should give players, maybe not, it doesn't feel as rewarding as armor or weapons or all this other stuff, so maybe that's why they put it in Eververse. But I guess that was a bad move because, yeah, sure, you don't really care much about that ship, but you kinda do. When they hide it behind a paywall, you start going like, hey, I didn't care so much about my ship, but at least I could earn my ship, and, but now I have to pay for my ship. That's when it becomes a problem. So I'm glad they're introducing ships and Sparrows and all that back into the loot pool, along with your weapons and your guns. Because, again, it was something that maybe it wasn't looked at as very valuable, but like you said, people were actually looking forward to getting like the raid ship, or there was no raid Sparrows, but probably that would have been cool. No, there was.
Yeah,
and
there was.
Glass, right?
Yeah, there was.
There was.
Voltoglass, Crota, yeah.
But not the Taken King or the House of Wolves. I don't think.
I know they didn't.
Prison of Elders. So.
We didn't get them.
But again, it's one thing that we mostly didn't pay attention to. So maybe they saw that and were like, oh, well, probably we'll count that as a cosmetic, and that's why they introduced it into the Eververse loot pool. But now that they're introducing it back into our regular loot pool, I think that's like you said, a step in the right direction, and definitely would like to see more of that.
All right, well, let's wrap things up real quick, guys. What's the most thing you enjoyed about the Curse of Osiris DLC since it came out, including updates and everything? What's the number one thing you enjoy the most?
Mayhem, I guess.
You, Eliaster?
Personally, as
Yeah.
filthy casual that I am, everything since the release of the Curse of Osiris campaign, strikes, patrols, everything, I've enjoyed it at my own pace, and it's been a great experience. I never try to sit on something and finish it, except the campaign. I did kind of like sit down and went like, you know what, I'm gonna play it until I finish the campaign. Not too quickly. I want to listen to the expositions.
So there's not a one thing that you like the most?
It's kind of hard to pinpoint, really. Again, it was a really great
Don't make
experience.
him
Everything
choose
up to
between
the
his
dawning.
children.
But, jeez, if I had to point out one thing, what would it be? Nah, man.
No, okay.
I really
Well,
can't.
for me, it's the hand can accuracy buff. I can actually use them without feeling
Of course.
completely crippled.
Handicap.
And I'm talking this, I know the PC doesn't have this problem, but from a console player, thank you, and please fix it more. We're not quite there yet to PC standards. You could do it, Bungie. We did it in D1.
We'll never
Come
be
on.
there.
We did it in D1. We can do it again. Come on, Bungie.
Did we? I
Yeah.
don't remember Destiny 1 and PC.
No.
Okay.
Okay, now that's the one thing you hated the most from the Curse of
PC
Osiris.
Master Race.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
What's the
That's a
one
good
thing that you hated the most?
Oh, that's a good one. Let's see.
Man.
Oh.
I guess all the
Blindsided.
controversy. That's it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
wish Bungie hadn't done all that shady stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I
Alright.
wish everything would have been handled a lot better, because as much as I enjoy the game, again, I don't make myself blind to facts. I don't make myself blind to the community, So I wish, that all that stuff wouldn't have happened. Maybe Bungie would have been a little bit more, how would I say,
Honest?
clear
Straightforward.
about it, more transparent, and communicate to the community better. But that's about it. Everything in the game, again, Eververse is Eververse. Everybody else is, their own opinions. But yeah, I could have done a lot better without the controversy.
Hey, you always.
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, I haven't really analyzed why do I hate about the game. Oh,
Not the game, but the Curse of Osiris.
I mean, yeah, the DLC forward. No, the. Huh. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah.
The Nova Bomb.
It could be a thing
Blindsided.
that just slightly,
Nova Bombs. Nova
That
Bombs.
doesn't bother
Nova
me.
Bombs.
I haven't tried it personally, but it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I've played plenty of matches and they're still close, even though people are glitching left and right.
Yeah.
Huh. I guess pretty much we would be that we don't get to do anything on
Nice
the
response, always
Infinite
laugh.
Forest without it being an adventure.
the adventures.
That
I
would
agree
be
with
the-
that. I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I have a lot of complaints, to be honest. But
Of
definitely my number
Let's
one.
do this roll.
but my number one is definitely the Nova Bomb glitch. Bungie, fix that for the. It ruined my whole Mayhem experience. I was here to kick ass with Dawnblade to prove everybody that even a scrub lord like me can use Dawnblade and get kills, but holy crap, I cannot stand the Nova Bomb glitch. I mean, all these BKs are still BKs, but and you know, but the fact that they're getting free kills from glitch just infuriates the crap out of me. I don't know. Bungie, do whatever you want, whatever, but fix the damn glitch. I can't. I
Well,
can't
they
even.
did say they're gonna fix it, but
Yeah, no, they did. I know, but not before Mayhem
you're
goes
gonna
away.
have to wait. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
So
You're gonna have
sad
to wait
face
till
about
it's over.
that. So sad face about that, but it is what it is. It ruined the whole. That's why I'd rather play hockey than play Mayhem.
Wanna 1v1 me in hockey, bro?
You know what we're doing. But yeah, no, definitely fix Eververse if you're gonna keep it, which I know you are, because Activision. Make it less infuriating to people, so then they stop flaming the game that I'm trying to play. It gets depressing after a while, to be honest. The fact that I'm just trying to play, and every day it's just like, oh, you're part of the problem. You should kill yourself because you play Destiny. Like I know I'm part of the problem already. Stop telling me. But no, Nova Bomb, please go away. Do you guys think it was overall worth the $20 from your personal, casual perspective, my friend?
Yeah.
Worth the 20?
Yes.
I mean, they did introduce the raid layer, which was super fun.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Honestly, it was
Yeah.
It's just so good. It was so good. I don't think it even needed to be talked about because it's just so good. So yeah. So worth the 20 for you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say. I know. Oh my God, DLC after 2 months the game's been out, but maybe I'm brainwashed by Destiny 1, but I honestly don't mind at all. Here, have a 20 so I can have another 200 hours of gameplay, which I will anyway. I don't mind. I'll spend the 20 again. That's right, I'm part of the problem. Okay. So yeah, I honestly think after all, it's been a rough ride this whole past month, but I think it was okay. I think it's worth the price. I know some people are not gonna agree, but I think it's worth the price. But I think that's all we have to say. We didn't talk about the raid layer, which was amazing, but we should have talked about that, to be honest. But it's getting late now. So.
A little bit. Just a tad.
Alright, guys. Well, that was it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I know we hadn't posted a podcast in a while, but life got in the way. But we thank you all so much for watching. And hopefully we'll see you in the next podcast. And stay tuned to the Mercury Guardians channel, because we have more videos coming along the way. So hope you can subscribe. Subscribe. Like the video. Give me money. No, just kidding. We're not there yet.
Open up that PayPal.
We're not there yet. No, but we do appreciate you watching, people. Hearing our opinions. I get to vent a little bit. But that was the Casually Casual podcast. I am the Light and Darkness for the TMGs.
I'm always warning you also for the TMGs.
Okay, let's do it again. One more time. One more time. One more time. I was the Light and Darkness for the TMGs.
I'm always warning you also for the TMGs.
And I am Eliasta720 for the TMGs.
We thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.